Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be reviewing the New Balance SC Trainer, go through the stats, the specifics, whether I think it's worth it or not. I'll even test them in an actual run. Today I'm doing a tempo session, 7K at around 350 pace, which is around half marathon pace. We'll see how we get on with these, and then I'll give my honest review. I'm not sponsored, so I'll go through the pros and the cons of the trainer. This one is almost like a middle ground trainer where they are very fast. As you can see, it's got the carbon plate in there, but they're not quite as responsive or lightweight as a race day trainer. So it's meant to be for your long runs, helps with recovery. It's got a nice cushion bit there. So let's first go through the product specifics and details. As you can see by these shoes as well, they're fairly well worn. I've probably ran around 50 miles in these. Really like them so far, but there are a few things that I don't necessarily like, which I'll go into. But before we do so, I thought I'd go through the stats and figures. So this is the New Balance Trainer V3, so the version 3 edition. I didn't try the previous version, so I can't compare to them. And this was actually the first New Balance trainer I've worn, and I was pleasantly surprised. It did kind of want to make me try the race day trainers, the SuperComp Elite, so maybe I'll get around to trying them in the future. But I have the size UK 10.5, and the weight is approximately 290 grams, which is slightly on the heavier side. You do definitely notice that when you're running, but being a slightly heavier runner, this gives me slightly more responsiveness, and I do actually quite like this. The other thing with the V3 compared to the V2 is that it has a slightly different heel to toe drop. So it is 7 millimeters with a measurement of 36.8 at the heel and 29.5 at the forefront. As with any New Balance shoe as well, it comes with the FuelCell cushion, as you can see there, which is known for its responsiveness. It's quite a stiff foam, but so far I have loved it. The carbon plate for New Balance shoes is called the Energy Arc, which is visible in the shoe, which I'm not sure if I like or not. But of course, this gives you that high energy return and snappiness when running at faster speeds. I did notice that it is obviously a versatile shoe and can be done for easy runs, but predominantly I think it's more of a long run trainer. The New Balance actual suggestion is to use this from easy runs up to tempo runs, but I would even say that it's probably pretty good for a speed session too. I've used these on the track also. As I said previously, I haven't tried the V1 or V2 version, but they did say that they've reduced the toe drop from V1 to V3, making it a more stable shoe compared to the previous version. The plan is to do a 7K tempo run, keeping it nice and simple, aiming for around half marathon pace. We will see. It might not be the most perfect time to review the trainer, given it's literally a few days after Christmas, and obviously I've eaten a lot, haven't trained too much, but we'll see. So what I'll do is I'll go through the splits after the run. We'll talk through it, and then I'll go through what I personally like and dislike, and whether you should purchase the trainer yourself. Solid session. Really feeling it from all the food over Christmas. My heart rate was insanely high, but I did manage to hit my target paces, which is a positive. Before we go into the session, I thought I'd also mention the price, which I should have done beforehand. So the SuperComp V3 New Balance trainer is 180 USD or 230 pounds. So it is more expensive than a race day trainer, which makes me think that there could be better options for sort of a tempo long run shoe. My personal favorite for this kind of workout has to be the Adidas Boston 12s. They're my current fave. Find them super quick, super comfortable, and very lightweight. So that would be my go-to. However, if we go through the session, here's how it went. So deep diving into the stats here, the session was a longer tempo effort, something that I really want to focus on this next year. It's very easy to do highly polarized training where you're going super fast reps on the track, those long slow runs to build endurance. But something that I definitely want to incorporate into my tempo workouts is these longer blocks. So things like 15-minute blocks, 20-minute blocks, 25, all the way up to say 30, 40-minute blocks at around target half marathon race pace. So what I did was 8 kilometers or 30 minutes on the dot, by the way, which is pretty epic, at 3:45 per kilometer. So yeah, 8 kilometers in 30 minutes with a 4 kilometer warm up in 18 minutes and a 3 kilometer cool down. The shoe felt like it almost slowed down my stride a little bit, I think, because they're quite bulky and very stable, which is a good thing in terms of recovery, but it's not necessarily a shoe that I would race in. Definitely more of a training shoe. Looking at the splits here, I did a slightly faster first kilometer of the tempo rep and last kilometer at 3:38 and 3:33. And I really tried to consciously pick it up towards the end, but I found it quite hard to move my feet quickly. But for those really steady long runs, I think this shoe is absolutely perfect and would highly, highly recommend. The two main downsides though, which makes me edge towards maybe it not being worth it, unless you have an unlimited budget or you have very narrow feet. For me personally, even though it's advertised as a wide toe box, this crushes my toes. And it's because I've got very wide feet, but for me, I would need to half a size up even further. So I typically wear 10.5 in running shoes, which is already a size up in UK. But for this shoe, I would definitely probably need a size 11. So that's something to bear in mind. And the last thing, without stating the obvious, I think it's probably overpriced for a training shoe. There's better options out there. My favorite is the Boston 12. So I hope you found this video useful. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.